જરા વિઘ્નેશભાઈ
હા
પણ લાઈવ બને રહ્યા એટલે થોડું કાંજ્યું કોમેન્ટ્સ મોટા યુટ્યુબ તે કરવી
હે
પણ લાઈવ બને રહ્યા યુટ્યુબ તે
ઓકે
એટલે હું જરા આજુબાજુ જે કોમેન્ટ શું ન બને એ થોડો ધ્યાન રાખજો
ભલે ઓકે ઓકે યસ યસ અને અसांजो अवाज बराबर अचे तो के
हाँ हाँ अचे तो क्लियर है
क्लियर है ना ओके ओके ओके
आजू-बाजू जो कमेंट सुना मैंने जरा
हां एवर बंद कर लायूं
हां हां
ओके ओके ओके
तकड़ी मिनट हां जस्ट
बाजू में जो है ना पंजो बाजू में बर्थडे पार्टी वाले थी
we are live now good evening and welcome Jai Jinendra to all from KVO Sthanakvasi Jain Mahajan which is a 152 years old institution विघ्नेश भाई आजो म्यूट ते करेला from KVO Sthanakvasi Jain Mahajan which is a 152 years old institution and which believes we are which believes that education can only change the society અને ગુણવંશાનું વાક્ય છે કે શિક્ષણ એ જ સમાજનું બેરોમીટર છે અને એને લક્ષ્યમાં રાખી અમે લગભગ 105 વર્ષ પહેલા કવિઓ સ્થાનકવાસી મહાજને શાળાઓની શરૂઆત કરી 5 શાળાઓ અમે ચલાવી રહ્યા છીએ અને ત્યારબાદ 1968 માં લગભગ આજથી 54 વર્ષ પહેલા કન્યા કેળવણી ફંડની શરૂઆત થઈ અને ત્યારે જ્યારે કન્યાઓ માટે હાયર એજ્યુકેશન માટેનું એક ફંડ સ્થાપવામાં આવ્યું ત્યારબાદ 1987 માં સમાજની જરૂરિયાતને જોઈને ઇંગ્લિશ મીડિયમ સ્કૂલની 1987 માં શરૂઆત કરી અને 2017 માં આજથી 5 વર્ષ પહેલા we started an international board school. All these were the educational activities done by KVO Sthanakvasi Jain Mahajan and I will request CA our president CA Vignesh Beda to welcome you all on this webinar. Vignesh bhai
नमस्कार जय जिनेन्द्र श्री कच्छी विसा ओसवाल स्थानकवासी जैन महाजन आयोजित सेमिनार ऑन न्यू एज्युकेशन पॉलिसी में उपस्थित स्थानकवासी महाजन मैनेजिंग ट्रस्टी श्री चंद्रकांत भाई महाजन सेक्रेटरी राजेंद्र भाई दरोड़ आजना अपना वक्ता डॉक्टर
अशोक
वाडिया जो जय हिंद कॉलेज ना प्रिंसिपल छे स्थानकवासी महाजन ना ट्रस्टी अधिकारीओ कमिटी मेंबर्स स्टूडेंट्स पेरेंट्स ऑल लिसनर्स आप बधानु स्थानकवासी महाजन वतीथी हूँ हार्दिक हार्दिक स्वागत करूँ छू जेम राजेंद्र भाई कहूं कि 152 वर्ष पहला स्थानकवासी महाजन की स्थापना थई अने आपणा समाजनी जे बे मुख्य संस्था देरावासी महाजन अने स्थानकवासी महाजन वर्षोथी समाज उत्थानना घणी बधी प्रवृत्तिओ करी रही छे ऑल लिसनर्स आप बधानु स्थानकवासी महाजन वतीथी हूँ हार्दिक हार्दिक स्वागत आ प्रवृत्तिओमां जेम कह્યું કે 1917 માં 17 માં સ્કૂલની સ્થાપના થઈ જેમાં ઇંગ્લિશ મીડિયમ સ્કૂલ ગુજરાતી મીડિયમ સ્કૂલ અને હવે 2015 માં આપણે શિશુ વિહાર ઇન્ટરનેશનલ સ્કૂલની સ્થાપના કરી એ ઉપરાંત શૈક્ષણિક મેડિકલ વુમન એમ્પાવરમેન્ટ પર્સનાલિટી ડેવલપમેન્ટ જેવી અનેકવિધ પ્રવૃત્તિઓ સ્થાનકવાસી મહાજન કરી રહ્યું છે which are very useful for the upliftment of the needy people. આ વખત રિસન્ટલી વાત કરું તો જે કોરોના કાળમાં સ્થાનકવાસી મહાજન અને દેરાવાસી મહાજને અનેકવિધ પ્રવૃત્તિઓ કરી જેમાં મુખ્યત્વે જે આપણે નીડી પીપલને ઘણી બધી જે કીટ આપવામાં આવી લોન આપવામાં આવી અને જે એક હેલ્પલાઇન ચાલુ કરવામાં આવી હતી જેમાં ડોક્ટરો તરફથી ફ્રી માર્ગદર્શન મળતું હતું અને મુખ્યત્વે એમાં કહીએ તો શ્રી ચંદ્રકાંતભાઈ ગોગરીના જે પ્રયત્નોથી આપણે બંને મહાજને એક ખૂબ જ ઉમદા પ્રવૃત્તિ શરૂ કરી છે. આપણા જે વેપારી વર્ગ છે એમને ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ ફ્રી લોન 5 થી 10 લાખ રૂપિયાની આપણે આપવાની શરૂઆત કરી, જેમાં લગભગ 6 કરોડથી વધારે ફંડ ચંદ્રકાંતભાઈના નેતૃત્વમાં બંને મહાજને ભેગું કરીને ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુટ આપણા બહોળા વેપારી વર્ગને ખૂબ જ એમાં રાહત મળી છે. એજ્યુકેશન ક્ષેત્રે જોઈએ તો અત્યારે સ્થાનકવાસી મહાજને એક એજ્યુકેશન ફંડ અને મેડિકલ ફંડ લોન્ચ કરેલું. તો એજ્યુકેશન ફંડમાં 7.5 કરોડનું માતબર દાન શ્રી ચંદ્રકાંતભાઈ ગોગરી અને એમના પરિવારે આપ્યું છે. અને આપણે શૈક્ષણિક અનેકવિધ પ્રવૃત્તિઓ એનામાંથી આપણે શરૂ કરી શકીશું. અને મેડિકલ ફંડની વાત કરીએ તો 6.5 કરોડનું અનુદાન જે અંતરા જ્વેલર્સના ઉલ્લાસભાઈ અને એમના પરિવાર તરફથી સ્થાનકવાસી મહાજનને પ્રાપ્ત થયું છે. તો એવી રીતે ચંદ્રકાંતભાઈ ગોગરીના નેતૃત્વમાં આ વર્ષે આપણે ઘણી બધી નવી પ્રવૃત્તિઓ શરૂ કરી છે. રાજનભાઈએ કહ્યું કે સ્થાનકવાસી મહાજનની ઘણી બધી પ્રવૃત્તિઓ વર્ષોથી થતી આવી છે અને સ્થાનકવાસી મહાજનની એક પરંપરા છે કે વર્ષોથી એક વિઝનરી, જેને કહેવાય દૂરંદેશી નેતૃત્વ હંમેશા પ્રાપ્ત થયું છે, જેમણે સ્થાનકવાસી મહાજન નહીં પરંતુ સમગ્ર સમાજ અને સર્વાંગી વિકાસ માટે હંમેશા દોરવણી કરી છે. તો આ વર્ષે આપણે જે શિક્ષણની જે પદ્ધતિ બદલાઈ રહી છે, તો સ્થાનકવાસી મહાજને ફરીથી એમાં લીડ લઈ અને જે નવી સિસ્ટમ ચાલુ થઈ રહી છે એના માટે આ સેમિનારનું આયોજન કર્યું છે. સ્થાનકવાસી મહાજન તરફથી હું ફરીથી આપ બધાનું સ્વાગત કરું છું અને બધા જ વિદ્યાર્થીઓને એમના ઉજ્જવળ ભવિષ્ય માટે બેસ્ટ ઓફ લક કહું છું. અને આજના ફેકલ્ટી ડોક્ટર અશોક વાડિયાનું હું હાર્દિક સ્વાગત કરું છું. ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર.
ખૂબ આભાર વિઘ્નેશભાઈ. વિઘ્નેશભાઈ અમારા યંગ ડાયનેમિક હમણાં નવા પ્રેસિડેન્ટ થયા છે અને ખૂબ જ ઉત્સાહી છે કે અને એમનું અને અમારા મેનેજિંગ ટ્રસ્ટી શ્રી ચંદ્રકાંતભાઈ બંનેનું માનવું છે કે શિક્ષણ એ જ સમાજને બદલી શકે છે અને સમાજને પ્રગતિની રાહ પર લઈ જઈ શકે છે. શ્રી મેનેજિંગ ટ્રસ્ટી શ્રી ચંદ્રકાંત ગોગરી is a strong believer that only education can change the society and can bring the prosperity in the society. And now I welcome Managing Trustee Sri Chandrakant Bhai Gogri to give ideas for Stanakwasi, for the KVO community on education and education policy for the community. Sri Chandrakant Bhai Gogri, please.
Thank you very much, Rajan. I welcome Principal Dr. Ashok Wadia. I am also a student.
No,
admission in UDC. So I am really thankful to Jain College for that. And I was student of this Stanakwasi Mahajan school also. So I am really happy that from both the institute I was student, and now I am leading the institute. And I am really happy that I will be able to serve the society. First of all, because of Corona, we have reduced the fee for the English medium student from 30,000 to 6,000 for our community student. Because of Corona, students are facing really problem of finance. So that is why for the student we are giving this subsidy. Even English medium international school also we are giving subsidy. So 40,000 subsidy there also we are providing. So in this way I believe because of education where I am and all our society has reached this level because of our visionary Dr. Velji Bappa has made this school, and a lot of students have get good education, and our society has made progress. And that way, we hope that new education policy, which our dear Prime Minister has brought after so many years, and this new policy is as good as with policies which is there in US and other places. So our student can change the subjects from 10th onward, and a lot of benefit will be there for the student as such. And we will also, as a part of the Educated Institute, we will be part of that curriculum. And because of that, our people from our society and in general, they will get benefit. And this institute is there since last 105 years. And we will see that this institute run for another 100 years. And that way, this new policy, this introduction and how to get admission and other things, Principal Wadia will still tell us. And this will be really, we are thankful to him that we are getting such a scholar principal for our webinar. And I thanks very much for principal and organization, our organization Rajan. And I welcome that this seminar should start.
Thank you, Chandrakant Bhai.
Rajan bhai, I will add one thing. Chandrakant bhai said that we have reduced our fees 6,000 rupees during Corona period. But
Yeah.
we will continue this 6,000 fees, which is actual fees approximately 35,000. But we will continue this 6,000 annual fee for all the KVO members forever. Matlab on, we will continue for coming years also. And this 40,000 discount in international schools also, we will continue it. We will not discontinue.
Very good announcement. There it's a clear announcement that the education cost for any parents is fixed and it is not going to inflate more. So they can plan their budget and can have a international school education in our international school education at a quite economical fees. Very good announcement. And now I will welcome Dr. Ashok Wadia ji. The subject which we are taking now. I welcome also Tarlaben Chheda of Prince family in this chat room. And just to tell you that why today's webinar, what is the new education policy is that now the boards will become redundant, or SSC board, ICSE board will become redundant, or whether the engineer can can take the music graduation course. What are the credits? What are the diploma? How the 12th student can have a diploma courses? Why credits are important? There is lot of confusion on the new education policy, and to make aware the students as well as the parents, we have organized the seminar. Plus, on 10th and 12th admission, there is always confusion how to fill the form. What is the registration process? This year, I heard from Dr. Ashok Wadia that there are entrance exams at graduation level from the autonomous colleges also, which students are not aware. So to make them aware for all this admission process, KVO Sthanakvasi Mahajan has organized this webinar, and more than 100 viewers are already there. And just to welcome the best faculty on this, Dr. Ashok Wadia. When I asked for his CV, he said, he's a very humbly told, "Mera kya CV hoga?" But he has a wonderful CV. He's a PhD in microbiology, and he is the principal of the most sought college of the Mumbai city, Jai Hind College, and where he has a teaching experience at the undergraduate level of more than 40 years and at the postgraduate level of more than 30 years. And he has been instrumental to the many research projects also. He is teaching in Garware Vocational Institute, then SNDT. So on new education policy, I am welcoming Dr. Ashok Wadia ji without taking much time. Sir, stage is all yours. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me first, any of these sessions, we normally say, because it's always in the morning, we say good morning. Now, I'm little scared to say good night because Rajan Bhai has organized this particular seminar, rather the webinar. And if I say good night, everybody will go to sleep. So I'm skipping that good night and I'm continuing to talk about it. I also want to appreciate, Chandrakant Bhai, Vignesh Bhai, and Rajan Bhai. Chandrakant Bhai is Jai Hindite. It's a surprise and also a very happy thing to hear that our alumnus is there here listening, and he's giving all the credits to Jain College. You can see that behind me, and I'm very happy that he is from Jain. And also about the community, because this community is, I can easily see that just like the new education policy is a forward thinking community, meaning is 5 education institutes, and then they are starting one more, but progressive. Everything is progressive, because what they started, they understood that the women should be educated. This is in the era where today also we are talking about, like, say, girls education, but your community was well ahead and tried to give this education well thought process. And also, as a progressing, they are thinking about the international school, and which has started. So they are trying to give the education at the different levels in a different way. But as a Chandrakant Bhai considers that education is very important, he himself has realized, and he gives the credit to Jain College, but I will give the credit to him also. That is because of that kind of thought process, which is there for 152 years in the community. I'm sure the community will do wonders and wonders as the days come. And also, thinking about giving the kind of concessions and supporting the community where the business is concerned and all that. Because when I will talk about new education policy, you will realize that what your community can do in this new education policy. Now, to start with, again, this particular new education policy or National Education Policy 2020, I don't know whether you are all aware, but that was a dream of our former president, Dr. Abdul Kalam. He wanted to see the transition in 2020 because he had anticipated that at that time the India will be young India, and the age group will be, the average age group will be somewhere around between 25 and 35. So let us consider all who are here, we are all in the age of the 25 and 35, and therefore we have to look at it very progressively and take this particular education forward. Now, this particular education policy, when the government wanted to draft, they selected a person, a very famous person, scientist, Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar. Now, I am proud to say that he is also Jai Hindite. He was a topper, and just like our Chandrakant Bhai sir, I'm very glad. So he also did this chemical engineering from UD City at that time, just like sir had done. Now it is ICT. And he went abroad and he did a lot of research. He was he's still advisor to the president as well as to the prime minister. And in the new education policy, which is now National Education Policy 2020, has played a major role. And recently, when the Maharashtra government, he had done the advice under his leadership, there was a committee and they have drafted what can be done in the Maharashtra. So I will start with that. With sir, your permission, can I share my screen?
Yeah, sure. Niyati, please give the screen share facility.
Yeah.
Niyati? Yeah. Yeah, sir, it's given.
Yeah. So NEP, that's a National Education Policy 2020. Everybody is talking about this new thing because, all were waiting for a change and change was not happening. Now, let me just brief you first why this particular policy was required long back and what is the difference. See, today you will say that why do we need such kind of policy where major companies like Microsoft, Google and all that, the leaders or the CEOs of these companies are all Indians. Mukesh Ambani and Adani, though the news is that they are not in that the first group of 100 plus plus, but they are the one which are taken the India in that particular level. So if you look at all these things, then what is that something different is required? By the way, this chemical engineers are doing very well because Mukesh Bhai also is a chemical engineer. So what I would like to say is that if Indians were doing so well and Indians are doing well, today also there is a demand for Indians in the software companies and all that. So our education system, is there anything wrong with that? No, nothing is wrong. But if you look at it, the developments, even at the British era time, the changes which occur, the industry revolution that happened in the Europe. Later on also the Microsoft or the software developments and all that. Today, Indians are part of it, but everything started there. So why that happened? And that is what I will be talking about. And you will realize that this education policy was awaiting and finally is here and what we can do. So you see, school education is getting divided. Earlier, as soon as the child was born, I know the era where the child is born, that same day, you have to go and take the admission in the reputed schools. If you miss that day, the school will say, why you are late? Therefore, I will not give you the admission. South Bombay and other places, this was a situation. But what we are talking about here is a preschool education of the 3 years. That means first 3 years, there will be the preschool education. Okay. And then after that, class 1 and 2. That means for the preschool education, unless the child is 3 years old, should not go to the school for the preschool. And then when the child will be 6 years old, will go to the class 1. So 6 and 7 will be class 1 and 2. Then there will be 3 to 5. That will be 8, 9, 10. And then will be 6 to 8 and 9 to 12. So by the time the child will be in the 12th standard, is a mature child. And what we are talking about is like the child can do some of the things, at the school level, learn, earn, and all those things can happen. So the reason behind is that ECCE is the key word, early childhood care and education. What was happening in the India until today, as you will find that when the exam comes, okay, the child opens a book and starts learning, what we call rote learning. And then we say, okay, child has done very well because child was able to do everything. I will cite one example here. One of my students, rather two students who were friends, one student remained here, one student went abroad. So the student who is in India, was proud to say that, his child could cite or could recite rather all these tables. So my other student who is abroad said, my child cannot recite the table because he has calculator. But what he can do is that he knows exactly how the engine of the car works. Now this is, I'm talking about at the age of 5. So what is the difference here? Difference is that we are trying to, put a lot of knowledge in that small head of the child. Because we also have, as per the study, that the child learning capacity is more. But unfortunately, what the child learns is everything what has been told, but not by experience. And therefore, the problem comes is that the child learns and child may shine, okay? And maybe gold medalist, number 1 and things like that. But in the real life, may not be able to succeed. Now, we have our president here, who is a chartered accountant, is a CA. You can ask him that how many CAs, just by that kind of learning and top, all of them become successful, or the CA who is able to apply his mind in the realistic manner is able to taste the success. So the difference here is that what we learn later on, that real life experience is something which is important. So it is very important to give that child that tactile senses. See, what we do in the entire process is that, as we talk about the sixth sense and the other senses, but what about the five senses which are there? We are curbing them. We are putting the pressure on that, and we are not allow the child to explore all this. So what is needed is that the first 3 years, the child should be learning all these kind of things, and then develop the kind of foundation where whatever the learning is there should be holistic, enjoyable, and engaging. Now, when these three words are there, all of you may have experienced, those who have their children in the school or in the, in the preschool also, as well as in the school, as well as in the higher education. Everything was online, and children had become very smart. They will either put their image, okay, and the teacher will be teaching to that image, and the child will be sleeping. And the parents will say, oh, my child is so smart. See, is able to crack the entire system and do that. They can, do various kind of things with the software and things like that. But they were not enjoying this particular thing. I'm not saying that everywhere it happened. There must have been the classes, there must have been the things where the students were engaged, students were ready, students wanted to learn, they were participating. So it was more of those kind of things where there is a participation which happens. Now, if that kind of participation occurs, naturally the child will be enjoying, and naturally child is engaged. So what is important is that the education system, which was making or forcing the child to learn by memory, but without any experience, this particular new education policy is focusing on something that they should be learning, okay, and will have the good memory of that because they enjoyed that particular experience. Now, when we talk about it, today we are considering why not education in your own mother tongue, because you are familiar with that. So at an early stage, why can't you use your mother tongue to learn? And I want to share with you that early age, many of the people, they had done the learning. Like take example, Dr. Mashelkar, who is developing this, himself, he had not gone to the English medium school at that time. But today, when he completed his education or he topped in the inter science at that time, okay, there was no inhibition where his learning came. And later on he worked. I'm not saying that the people should not learn in the English medium or the Hindi medium or any medium. What is important is that this realization that the child can learn many languages at that early age, and therefore multilingualism. That means you expose the child to the various kind of languages that will be helpful in the future, because today everything has become global. And so if you can bring all these things together at this age, the child will know this and without any inhibition, because child doesn't have give the exams, and so the child will not worry about like say, okay, for exam point of view I have to learn this. Child will learn because child will enjoy that kind of learning. Then the difference, essential subjects, skill and capacity development, and vocational education. Now essential subjects are there. Now take example, one should know the maths. Today, in the between the education policy, even if the science student, they can give up maths. Many boards, and I'd face this kind of problem. Tell the student, you take the 6th subject as maths, and later on, just to ensure that if you are not good, you don't give that exam. Please remember that some boards consider that if you are passed in the 5 subjects means you are passed. But when the admission time comes, you have to clear all the 6 subjects. If you are not, then the problem comes. So this kind of, wrong information and the wrong things, and you are telling the child, don't learn. See, myself, I've been I'm associated with the Maharashtra Dyslexia Association for years, and I had done a lot of counseling of parents as well as students. So of course, there will be students with the learning disability. They may be having the problem with the calculations. There will be that. But what is important, if you can train such children, even with the basic things and the skills which are developed, today you have the calculator, computer, everything by which they can easily go further. But understanding of that, what is that number one? What is that number two? And the zero, the gift of the India to entire world. What is the significance of that? And today, our Chandrakant Bhai, all, even Rajan Bhai included, that is, all of them are putting many zeros on their incomes, and going with that. And that is, you'll find that because of their education and the learning, and which they are actually using that, their skills in their business. So what is important is that essential subject should be the one. There should not be something which is forced on the child, but required. So what we differentiate are the skills. That means your life skills, your soft skills, and the hard skills. So we differentiate all these things. Life skills means how will you survive. The soft skill means your communications, your in the society, how you will be dealing with that, how you will be in your business, will be able to use those soft skills, all those things. Today, see, children use the WhatsApp. They use, extensively this social media. But the kind of language they put, that language, maybe tomorrow it will be the world's language. But when they have to send an email, they don't follow the etiquette. And then the problem comes. So therefore, it is very important that the words are important. So the soft skills are also important. The value system is important, which I could see in your, entire community, and how they are promoting that. And the capacity. Capacity means every child is special. Please remember, I myself consider that the dyslexic student, is more, has a different kind of ability, and he is a genius, like Einstein. He was also dyslexic. So that word dyslexic should be considered with the pride. So that capacity and identification should be done when the child is in the school. Otherwise, you can ask many stalwarts here that there must have been children in their school and which were called backbenchers, and everybody will say they are dumb. But they were good in sports or in other skills, but nobody was accepting and admiring because they were not able to perform. So capacity identification of their capability, capacity building is something which needs to be focused. And therefore, the vocational education. The other day, in the school education minister had called a meeting where HCL had offered, internship to many students, and they are ready to take up even their training in the different kind of technical schools, where these students will learn and they are ready to absorb them if they are good. So they were offering 20,000 internships, but initial period they are giving it to the municipal schools and others, because the strata is coming from that and they should develop these abilities and other things. Nothing wrong in that. But what is that? That we are realizing it, and also the companies are also realizing. That means corporate world, industries, they are realizing. And why all these things are required to bridge the gap between academia and industry. So when we look at all these kind of things, it is very important that what is a teacher's role and what is a student's role. And these are well defined, and everyone should know what is it. Now, as a teacher, I can always say that I'm the best. And therefore, what I teach, everyone should understand. Now, teacher is looked as a facilitator today's world. That means teacher has to ensure that the knowledge will reach to the student, or if the student has the information, should be converted into knowledge. Today, everybody talks about the Google Sir or Google Guruji or Google whatever. But you see that everything which is there on the Google is not correct. In my class, I challenge them that go and do the Google search and give me the answer. And I know that they will fail because they don't have the answer, because answer is not there. Answer is already there with them, but they are not realizing it. Because unless they understand what they have learned, they will not be able to answer the question. I know there are many classes and the things which happen, and they give that information to the student, even including the IIT entrance exams, and cracking them. So they crack because they give them the crack code. But please remember, just in the coding, the crack code is obtained to you and you crack, but you have not developed the code. So you don't know how to do the coding. So similarly, the students who is preparing, they go to this, they know the solution because they are told, if this question comes, you have to apply this formula and you get the answer. Don't ask why. So we have lost that capacity of asking why. The students' role is that they must be asking why, and teacher's role is to find out the answer, or they should be able to give the answer, or they should be honest and get the answer and pass it on to the student. So students should be more curious in today's world and should be keeping the teachers on the toes, and teachers should be happy dancing on those toes rather than, sitting in a chair and relaxing and considering that I did the best job and every child in my class has learned everything. So the roles are changing. Today the student is becoming the teacher and teacher is becoming the learner. But that realization and acceptance is very much required at every level. And I'm not talking here only about like a school. I'm talking about at every level. That means even at the post-graduation, suppose there's a research project which is there and I'm part of it. I'm learning from my student because he's coming with the idea or she's coming with the ideas. And I have to ensure that these ideas will not remain dreams, but will see the day of life. So what is important is that how you will play the role in developing the holistic personality of a child, and not only will be focusing only about memorizing the things and learning that. So the education policy, the objectives are like this: parity in academic excellence. So the boards will not go, like universities will not merge. So similarly, the boards will remain. But what is expected here is a parity between all the boards. What was happening recently was like, there was a competition of giving marks, and you see everyone was crossing 100%. There was a time when you will find that, reaching 60%, that is getting a first class, was a challenge. And if you are able to get that, that means you are somebody which was acknowledged. Getting 55% means you are achiever. And if you get a 60% and plus, then you are somebody. So you are intelligent. Today, 100% is common. Above 100% is something. And then to get that, you have to get the marks from here and there. And ultimately, you may get 105%, 110%. And many of them will be having that. So what happened was that in the entire thing, everybody tried to do the same thing. And suddenly you will find that the boards which were keeping the education and the quality, they started compromising because they wanted their students to remain in that competition and to excel. So somewhere now, the focus will be, as I will tell you, will not be on the marks, but what you learn and how you learn and what do you learn. So the system is changing, and therefore what they are trying to do in this national education policy is that at least bring some uniformity in the different boards so that what is taught should be similar. That means the student, whether coming from HSC, CBSE, ICSE, or even from the international in India, they should be having the same kind of levels of learning. Like take example IGCSE and I. If you look at that over there, the child is given certain problems. Of course, those who are having the children, they will be definitely knowing. Like they will apply the statistics and will say, okay, like take example, the 5 birds are flying, the weight, the speed, okay, their dimensions and all that. Statistically, they are able to map. Other places you learn the statistic as a statistic, but not implementing it. So therefore, you'll find that this kind of disparity needs to be removed, and all the boards should have similar kind of things, which is very, very important. Now, achievement of the global parameters. Now, why global parameters? Our child learns here and goes abroad. And then they say that the child has not completed the 16 years of education. And therefore, the child cannot go. So today you will find that national education policy is also trying to bring that. So the child, when will go there, will be easily accepted over there, and not will be doing something, which is irrelevant during that 1 year, additional year, because their counselor tells them. And then they go abroad. Rather, Jain College, whenever we are doing the kind of collaborations with the foreign universities, what we do is that our child is already learned. If the child goes over there, we'll do that 1 year and we'll get a double graduation from that institute. That means suppose the child is BA, should get the BA from that university, which is US university or anywhere else. And then after that, considering that in 1 year time, they should be able to do their master's degree, MS. So this is our because we take a pride and we consider that, our child who has studied in Jain is capable of doing that. So we put the terms and conditions for the collaboration. So we don't want to just have collaboration because scholarships are available and they want the money, because everybody wants money. So that is the reason they come visit India and have a fair, education fair and all that. Why? Ask yourself this question. I will be very happy, rather all these foreigners will start coming to us, because we have that experience. Stanford University students had come and they had just the, experience in our college. And then at the end, they were asking me, when is your summer school? Like abroad, there's a summer school and children go. So if we go with this national education policy and try to achieve the global parameters, I think days will not be far where people would like to come to India, because they would like to know how come India produces so many CEOs and all that. So please remember, I'm not saying that the memory of the child should not be used. Yes, the child should memorize, but happily, not by the force. And that is what we have to tweak it, because Indians are very smart, highly intelligent. Their IQ quotient is very high. What we also have to see is that now EQ, that is emotional quotient, and that has to be now focused on here to bring them to that particular level. Now, learner-centric approach. What is this learner-centric approach? Learner-centric means every child learns in a different manner. That's why I said the dyslexic child, I'm using this word. Please remember that I take with the pride this particular word. Otherwise, I don't want to use this word. There is no learning disability. I always say that. They learn differently. So this word should be LD, should be learning differently and not learning disability, according to me. And so this has to be addressed. Those who learn fast, they want the challenges. Okay. There will be someone which will be, grasp in a different level. And there will be some which will be learning slowly. But remember, just like slow and steady win the race, like the tortoise and the hare, the story which you must have, of course, present children may not be reading this kind of stories, but I'm sure many of you know that. So this is very, very important, that every child should be given that opportunity and the focus should be there. So unless you will find we identify them, we categorize them without differentiating them and making them, every child is special, please remember. So don't try to show that, no, you are like this, you are like that. Rather, we have to bring them all to the level, same level. For to do this, our approach has to be different. So identify them, but don't try to say that, you are very smart. No, only thing is that give them more challenges. The child who is there in the middle, you have to ensure that the child reaches that upper level. The other child, you have to give that confidence because whatever is learned is for permanent level basis. So how one can do that and ensure that every child gets that special treatment, which is very, very important. So learner-centric approach to ensure that every child. Now, while doing this, if you look at it, those Sir Chandrakant Bhai sir is from the chemistry. So he will tell you that whenever we talk about the table, about the elements and all that, we talk about octave. We talk about Sare Gama, okay? All these things everywhere in the world, the music and all that goes together. So if you look at the chemistry, you look at the maths, you look at everything, they are integrated. So many times, if the child, because I remember my topper, in microbiology, she used to listen to the music and study. That means please remember your brain, because what is computer? Computer, your hard disk is compartmentalized, right? From where the concept came? It came from your neurosystem, your brain. So you have that those compartments, and she was able to use that. So same way, if the child wants to learn something different, along with that, don't stop. I want to share something here. One of our students top in this CET exam. So he could have gone anywhere. At the same time, we have this NTU, that is National University of the Singapore, which gives us that opportunity that we have to recommend one student, and that student is taken by them, and free education. So we recommended him. After 6 months, he came and told me one thing: sir, I used to laugh at these children who participate, in the extracurricular activities. I said, they are stupid. Look at me, I'm focusing on my study. I top in the CET. Sir, after going to that NTU where I came across many students from all over the world, I've changed my attitude. I consider I should have enjoyed that my time in the Jain, also participating in whatever I like. Not at everything. You cannot take too much in your plate and do that, but definitely you can do something which is very important. And to do that, you should give them the option, because holistic part of it, you can take certain components which will be helpful to you to keep your mindset clear, focus, and learn. To do that, you should have some kind of subjects which are of interest, which could be your hobby, but now can become the part of your curriculum. And so our approach is going to change. What we were thinking, that child should know everything, entire history, geography, maths, sociology, you name the subjects, everything. Instead of that, we have to see and identify and give them the child the opportunity, and child can learn. So here, the process of implementation. So what is important is that course curriculum needs to change. And what the government is trying to do is that, like at the higher education, UGC is giving some kind of a curriculum which should be common thing, and then some kind of a elbow room to change, so that you can actually have the collaborations with the industry or corporate world and get the realistic education incorporated in your education. As Jain College is autonomous, we are already doing it. So we don't have those kind of problems. Our education system, we are already on our board of studies, the people from the industry, and they guide us, the scholars, educationists, they tell, okay, and also our alumni, and also our present student, and they tell us exactly what is required, including the parents. So we take the feedback from everyone and do it. So the same thing is now there in this national education policy. Now, what is important? Mera Bharat Mahan. Okay. But we want to be like, as our Honorable Prime Minister said, Atmanirbhar. What is the meaning of that? That we should be doing the things in India. So made in India. People like to wear the t-shirts and all that where USA is written. So every person should be proud to take written India or made in India. And then these t-shirts the foreigners should buy. What is the basically to achieve this? The innovation. Now, I want to share here, innovation are not necessarily starts, later on, after taking the education. It starts at the early age. But doesn't mean that the student should think like Bill Gates, okay, okay, I will leave and I will start Microsoft. I will leave my education. Please remember, Bill Gates already had reached that level and was able to go out. Okay. So not to leave the education that way, but there is also another thing which I will talk about. So in other words, innovative pedagogy. So way of teaching is different. Don't have to tell the way you will teach, the way you will explain, what are the different things you will use, doesn't mean that we have to use only PPTs. Because let me tell you that PPTs and PPT students are also smart. They can take the PPTs and everything. If it is coming from the, Google, then the student also know that it is coming from the Google, they will lose interest. What is innovative pedagogy means? How you will engage the student. Maybe they will be playing the certain roles in your class. They will be actually doing the certain things. You will give them the projects which will be experimental. They have to do, they have to go to the society. They have to find certain things. The social responsibility is important. They will be knowing that, along with the education, so that the child, will do things in the future, like your community. See, Vignesh Bhai, your Rajan Bhai, Chandrakant Bhai, all of them are here and many others. Why do you think that is they want to do something for your community? And I'm sure that you will reach out to the other people from the other communities or from the social shuttles. The reason behind is that you believe that to give back. So this is something that needs to be imbibed in the student. And that is where you'll find that the teacher role will be different. And there is nothing fixed, like these are the innovative pedagogy. Every teacher has to consider, and I always also believe, just like a student who is a learner learns in a different way. Okay, and if I tell the student, all the students should learn in this manner. See, some students wake up early morning and learn. Some students remain awake whole night and learn. Some students prefer, in the mid time. So if each child learns in a different manner. The child may read it 10 times. A child may try to do something or write down or the notes. Everyone is different. Same way, every teacher is different. And teacher can teach in a different manner, and we have to appreciate. And what is important here, since you have education institutes, okay, we are very selfish people. If I know what is what I do is very important and engages a student, I want to keep it to myself. Rather, now we should be giving, because remember, the knowledge, if you give, it increases, it doesn't go. So similarly, you are unique when you teach. So even if you teach and everyone wants to like mimic that, it is a mimicry. They will not be able to do what you do. But your best practices should be shared. So these institutes which you are talking about, sir, it is very important that there should be integration. They should come on the same platform and talk about it, and then go back and implement. There should be interaction among the teachers. They should come on the platform to do this. And unless you really come out, the ideas will not be shared. And maybe one school will try to do better or other. It is no competition. I was just talking to one of the top school, before this particular session, because I received a call, and they want me to give the talk to their children and parents and all that. But what I said is that, see, today I don't see, they were telling me, Jai Hind is, most sought after, it's number one and all. I said, please remember, there's enough space on the top. What is important is that why I should not bring the other institute to that level. So you already have the institute. Why all your institute, whether even if one is international, another could be CBSE, another could be HSC or the ISSC, they should be all, at the level. Every child taking education in any of the institute should get the equal kind of education and the learning experience, because they are coming to your community education schools. They should not hesitate to go any school, whichever school is the best. But that will happen only when there's a sharing and if you are able to do that. So uniform, okay, assessment and evaluation. We assess and we put this, we are happy to use the red ink. I've stopped using red ink long back, not even the green for that matter. You will say moderator uses or something like that. Because I believe, who am I to use that, and say, put you are wrong. First thing is I need to find out, the reason. So our assessment of the student is actually should be the self-assessment of the teacher. See, in our college, what we have is a continuous assessment. Now, always tell the continuous assessment is not of the student. Continuous assessment is a regular one. Like it could be after teaching one particular session, I can have a assessment to know whatever I have taught, how many students it has reached and able to understand that. And when I take their any kind of test, which could be not, I have to inform them, but I credit them, I give them the grades, then I have to ensure that, okay, if they have not reached this, I have to put little more efforts and ensure that they are able to come to that particular level. So in other words, assessment here is also of the teacher. If I do that, and they should take it in the right spirit, okay, and then work on that, so that you'll find that student-centric approach will be there. And so the evaluation system and all that will be more helpful and not putting the students down or calling them dumb. This student is good, so he's my favorite. She is my favorite, so I will make the student, monitor or the captain and so on. No, all should be captains and monitor. Why can't we make everyone, leader? So the leadership qualities and all that we need to put across, and we have to prepare the students accordingly. So this is very, very important, how you will do this. So outcome is choice-based, credit system. So what is the focus on? Inter and interdisciplinary nature. Okay, internally and intra. That means our focus should not be like, okay, the student should only learn science. Student should only learn humanity. Student should only learn commerce. Science student, Chandrakant Bhai has got a business with, I will not, because it was just shared with me. So, but I cannot talk about that, but there are many zeros in CR. So I will say, how did he manage? He was a science student. From where the commerce came? It was in the blood, or he had to learn. So why can't we train the children with their abilities and also give them that kind of facility? So why can't we have inter and interdisciplinary? Why should we consider only one particular focus? There are children which are, maybe interested in one particular part. So for which it should be credit learns. The credit will be learned. Our children, your children, I'm sure you want to send them to Harvard. Why Harvard? This is, sir, another example. One of our students from Jai Hind, okay, he's also a big businessman. He's supplier to the industry, all these gums and other things. He is also chemistry student. He wanted to go and learn in at Harvard. So later on, he did the executive course and he called me to see what he had brought from US. So what he had brought, you will not believe, 2 suitcases, big ones, the piles of the books which were kept over there. And all of them which were on the industry in India. Your MSME and all that which you talk about, Harvard already knows what exactly you are doing. And, Indian Merchant Chamber, which, good, Rajan Bhai didn't mention that. I'm quality examiner on their quality committee, and I had gone to even Birla, Reliance, Tata's, to quality examine those industries. But please remember, they were the experts. We were giving suggestions. We were not auditors. But there was a lot of learning, and that learning came because I went there to understand what is quality. So when we talk about all these kind of things which are there, please remember that all these quality educations and all that, when I asked IMC, do you have all these things? They said no. I said, when are you going to start? They said, you have given good idea. I said, idea will remain idea. You immediately start. You have got so many members. Tell them to give all their history, everything, geography, and the details, which will benefit whoever wants to start the business in the similar field. I know just now it was mentioned in your community, you are ready to give the loans, right? To start the business. You are promoting that. So why not in the IMC, Indian Merchant Chamber, which is the body, which is the entire India body, and all the people are the members of that, the big companies. Why not use that? No, Harvard has it. So Harvard uses that every child has to do the research and original research, because there's a plagiarism. They normally check it with the software and they reject it. So only honest work, and then there's a discussion, and all this honest work gets filed, and then finally the Harvard has got all these research works filed and the books are published. Who does the work? Indian students. So every country, they have got all the details. And we have got such a, vast experience, the kind of things which are done here, but we don't have the information. We don't have the knowledge about it. We are not able to implement. So my suggestion, I don't know about IMC, but your community, can come together and put this kind of thought process together and develop something. So in your community, whoever wants to start the business, the ideas can easily develop, because you already will be having your, entire history, plans, how to execute, and everything will be there. And it will be open secret for the people, so that they can use it and they can progress. And you can be mentors. And I will be very happy, because, in Jain College, we believe in job givers, okay, job creators, job producers, and not job seekers. So we got entrepreneurship cell, and you all can go and watch on the YouTube, Green Soul, one of our students, what he has done wonders. He has got a photography book. He's from Rajasthan, okay, the Birds of Aravalli book, you can check on the YouTube. He's a marathon runner, and he used the shoes and the sole of that to convert into the floaters for the third world country. Please visit. So we have got many of our students in the Forbes list, okay, and the startups. Today we have got, 21 startups, and many engineering colleges students are having the startups in the Jain College, because our entrepreneurship cell is helping them. We normally have the competition where IIT, IIMs participate. So what is important is that, we have to go to that level, and I believe that we don't have to wait for them to go to the college. Innovation can start at the early age. Okay, your WhatsApp is a classic example. Your Facebook is a classic example. So I don't have to talk much about that. So please consider that our students, our children have the potential, identify them and do it. So your entire now focus in the school will be changing, and one will wonder, what the child is doing. But yes, the child will be doing something which is going to be fruitful. So child could have taken many, many years to learn that, to enter the real world and settle. Child is ready at any step to enter the real world. Rather, child will be part of the real world, okay, without having the pressure. That is important, because mental status is very important. And we have all seen that the mental status in the pandemic, and unless you will find that your intelligent quotient and your emotional quotient are intact, you cannot fight this mental stress. And that is what we have to also look at. So what we have is a transfer of credits. There will be academic bank of the credits, ABC, which is already there. We have also become the member. So what happens is that the child wants to move from one place to other. Like your child, you are shifting your business. You will be welcome anywhere, because your child is bringing the credits which are equal. There is no disparity, and will be accepted anywhere, and will be doing that. So automatically, this is all will be there. So the credit transfers will be very easy and acceptable across India. Okay. And what is expected across the world. So if the child leaves India and goes abroad, because of that global education which we are talking about, they will see, okay, child has learned this, this is the level, child has these credits accepted. Okay. This is the one. I saw in the UK, one of the institute, there are no marks given at all. But they have got very talented teachers, globally known, international kind of level. So what if the teachers give those credits, any university just accepts them. So we will be having such kind of things coming. Of course, all these things will not happen immediately, let me tell you, because all of you will have a fear also. So Maharashtra government has made another committees to work on that at the higher level. I spoke to the minister also. I said that you have to bring school minister, meaning the school education system and higher education system, the technical education system together, and there should be amalgamation of that. Otherwise, you'll find this will be working in a different the directions, and the outcome will not be there. And therefore, the meetings are happening. And Honorable Prime Minister is actually having a meeting in Gujarat, I think in the near future, where every state has to represent what are they doing with the NEP. He is very keen. And they have to show like what exactly innovation they are trying to do. So they have to present that and they have to implement it. Okay. He is not interested in what will you implement. He is interested in when what is already implemented, you show me that. Okay. So he is not waiting for the future. 2020 is back, gone back. We are already reaching 23. So it is expected that all these things will take time, settle. But by 30-35, everything will be as it is required. But process has to start somewhere and will start in the coming year. So there will be also multiple entries and exits. What is the meaning? That student can go out, okay, from higher education, suppose has taken the admission in the first year, gets it, can take the certificate, go out, okay, then decides, no, I've done that, my business is settled, whatever I'm doing, new thing is done, I want to still get a degree here, will come back, complete the credits and will do that. So multiple entries at a different level depending on their credits and exits. See, the time will come that if the one school, why I'm telling you, because you got a 5 school. If your one school is develop a particular program, okay, nowadays we don't call the thing course, we call program. And course is a paper, the exam paper, every paper is called course. This is the new system. So let me see, that is one program is developed, say on the music. And other one has developed one program on, say, database or something like that, which are unique. So every school of yours don't have to do that. The child can learn those things from that school. So it's like an exchange program. Our Carleton University from Canada, their students come here. Then our students before pandemic we used to send. So there this is a kind of credit learning or credit earning. So what is important is that, you can also think in those terms because you have got different institutes which can develop the unique features, and those features, because they are able to do, they have got that kind of potential expertise and things like that way. What you can do is that they will be available to the students. So the students can learn, even if they are from one school, they can also learn from the other schools. Of course, lot of thinking, lot of implementation, lot of planning is required. But yes, you can do it. So, as I said, credits, not marks. And, so here core courses will be there. Then elective courses are there. So which are chosen from the pool of the papers and added over there. There will be the credits given which are specific and aligned. Specific means later on in the education, somebody wants to do, say, physics. So it's a specific one. There will be electives and there will be allied. Allied means maybe related to the physics or maybe related to, like, take example, biophysics. So therefore it will be allied. So that means total focus is not on that. Chemistry, biochemistry, like that way. Microbiology, biotechnology, because microbiology is the foundation of everything, biological world. And then from there you get evolved. So the thing is, you can have the various things, So your expertise starts somewhere, then you are taking something and do that. So practicals, tutorials, ability enhancement courses, all these things are going to be the part of the curriculum. And the vocational, like today we are having 2 vocational courses, travel and tourism management, which is also hospitality related, and also we are having the software development. So these courses we are running for last many years, okay, and available to the student. So today we are talking about vocational, we are already into vocational. We have got, we have collaboration with the TCS. So we are already in the industry. We are having the BBA course in the pandemic we started last year. We have got BMS, okay, management studies. We got the BAF, accounts and financing. We have got financial markets where your investment and all that, we talk about shares. We also have the insurance and banking and insurance. Also, we are having, just last year we started business administration. Management studies is different. Business administration focus is different, which is totally industry related. And also we are got with the TCS, and these are all TCS. And our computer courses also are mapped with them TCS. And we have got the database, because TCS is the largest and the topmost company in all over the world. Today we are having this collaboration that the big data analytics, at the master's level is with us. And they are not doing this kind of collaboration with everyone. So one has to understand that the potential of every institute has to be checked, and every institute should have this kind of collaborations and doing that. So dissertation projects which should be focused on that, and there will be credits learning and all those things can happen. So ability enhancement, which is compulsory courses which will be there, English or multiple, the modern Indian languages which are there. Because what we learn, you may want to learn the French, you want to learn the Chinese, you want to learn Japanese, you want to learn Italian. Any of these languages which you want to learn for the reason because you want to enhance your business, or you may having your family business in those particular countries, it is very important. And so you can do this. And skill enhancement courses, which could be value-based, skill-based, hands-on training, competence, increasing the different skills and all that. So these are the terminologies which will be common on your tongue, ACC, SEC, ECCC, and all those kind of things, okay? So the credits are there. So you complete one theory period, which is not just a theory in the Harvard. As I told you, it's not exam-based system. It is your involvement. You are given the credits on your output in the class. Whatever you have been given, the projects, you have to go back and you have to do this. Your tutorial period, your involvement in that, practicals, what you learn, and whether you have learned those abilities, you have got, then you get those credits. So the total credits will be 132. Similarly, credit system at the school and all those kind of things will be the one which will be the new education policy. I know that you may be having the many questions, okay, and all of you are not on the Zoom. But let me tell you one thing over here. As I said that we can have a session of the questions which will be taken by Rajan Bhai and will tell. I just want to tell Maharashtra government, this education policy, there are many meetings which are happening, okay, and they will give the full this thing development, and then that particular bouquet will be available. So what I have given you is actually the core of this new education policy. But at the same time, I have not stopped myself for giving you the ideas, because you have got Education Institute, and I'm sure that if you start thinking on these lines, you will be prepared to implement, because implementation will not be that easy. And what is expected nowadays, like say that up to 12th standard education should be with school only, and then will be there. There is another aspect of that at the higher education. whether 3 years or the 4 years. So what they are trying to do, 3 years you get a degree, 4 years you will get the honors degree, and in the 4th year you are completely done. So you can do your masters in 1 year, or you can have integrated course of 5 years, 3 years of the undergraduate degree, and then 2 years of the master's degree and complete that. Of course, PhD is something which research oriented mind only will go for it and will complete that. So what they are doing is that 3 years course or the 4 years course. The choice is given and you can change your mind, because 4th years is an additional one which is coming, which will be total focus on a particular subject, which you may have developed the interest, sorry, and you want to continue. So you need to do and think about it. So how will you plan your child in the school education will be learning the skills, will be prepared for the real world or higher education and proper selection and understanding. So your counseling, sorry, your counseling and everything has to happen, at that level. But the counseling should not be like, what you believe, what you think, or because this is happening, or somebody says, okay, tell your child, we will give this kind of facility, and therefore I will say, no, go to that particular thing. No, the counseling has to be based on the student capacity, ability, okay, the talent, the interest, the finger skills, the tactile skills, application of the mind, the focus. So, you are actually studying the child in and out, not just the psychology of the child. So it is very important at the young age, we are developing the young India, so that the dreams of Dr. Abdul Kalam, our, Prime Minister, every person, and you yourself as a parent will come true. So thank you. Rajan Bhai, should I start with the next one? Because I don't know the time.
Yes, sir, you can process.
So I can
Start with the 10-12th admission process, sir.
Yeah,
Then we'll take all the questions. Because some of the parents are waiting for the admission process. Too.
I know, I'm aware. So I will just do that now. Okay. So I will first go to the 11th standard online admission process. Now, why this particular process is important and what has happened now? Since you got the 5 school, I assume that one will be one will be SSC and some will be CBSE or IGCSE and all that. Now, what happens over here is that the results are not out, but the process has started. Now, if the process has started, it is very important that people think that, once the result is out, we will do that. On the same line, even university has done that without realizing that there are other boards. University has done something else. But I will talk about, like, say, at the HSC, what is important is that those who want to send their child not to continue with the school for 11th and 12th, but want to send to the colleges in Mumbai, where the colleges are affiliated to the Mumbai University or the SNDT University, and there is a University Act of 2016, which is Maharashtra University Act. So everyone has to follow that. So they will be having this junior college, and in the junior college there is a 11th and a 12th, which is everything is of the HSC board. Okay, so I'm putting this because whatever information which is there, I'm putting the disclaimer because 11thadmission.org.in, because tomorrow one should not go to the HSC board and say, the principal of Jain College said this and you're saying something like that. So I want to make it very clear from my past experience and what has been done, every time, and their directions which are given in this kind of book, which is there. So I want you to understand that I'm using the policies which are normally there, and based on this particular policy, I'm going to guide you. Okay, but you must be visiting the website for the further information or any amends or changes. So maybe process which will be different. You can do this. So all admissions are online. Please remember that. So somebody will think later on, I know this, I know someone, influence and all that will not work, because your name has to be there on the online process. If it is not there, you will not be able to do this. And then if you miss the bus, then you will find they open it at a later stage where the choices are limited. So one should not miss out. Now, whether your result is out or not, okay, my suggestion is that complete this particular process. And this process has to be done through the school, okay, whichever school you are associated with, or there are certain centers which are there through them. Now, while doing this, it is very important because you are also is a minority community. So please ensure that the documents which are normally you are to put in the part 1, all these documents need to be validated by school. So this is for your 5 schools. It is very important that your teacher who you are appointed to validate that, make sure that all the documents are correct, because your school, there may be children coming from the other communities. So it is not only from your community. So please ensure that whatever things which are there uploading, whether they are uploaded, because many times you also consider so many students and I'm taxed and I have to check this and all that. Please ensure, take time and do it, because later on the school will not have the edit option. That means school has to tell the child you have to make the changes. So please ensure that the child, whatever does, the proper guidelines and the advice is given. So they should be done, which is attended by this. I'm telling by the school because school has your history. SSC school, no problem. The minute they put the number, entire history comes over there. You don't have to do much over there. But the rest of the schools, yes, definitely they have to do that. So admission forms, which are in the 2 parts, which are aware. Today you are filling the part 1. Please remember, if you make any mistakes later on also, whenever edit option is available, you please edit it. After edit, once you edit, doesn't mean it is done. Please remember, it needs to be verified. Some parents think that is a part 1, it is already done. I can make the changes. You will make the changes and you will be under impression that you have made the changes and it is registered. They are not registered. The verification part has to be done, and because once it is verified, it is locked. So you need to go and make the changes if you really want to with those centers or from the school. Many times the school will not know, then the centers can help. But unnecessarily, when you want to do this, please take the proper advice and do that part 1. Okay, and if you have done it, if the time is there, please make the necessary changes because they are permanent. Okay, and upload the required documents and all that. Of course, there will be certain documents which you need to upload afterwards when your results will be out and so on. At present, everything is part 1, but I will be talking about the other things also. Part 2, selection of the stream, choices of the colleges, etc. So this is the time which is very, very important. What is important is that you should check, they will be giving you the colleges and the last cutoff. Now, please remember the cutoff which are given are very important for you to decide. What is your choice 1, choice 2, choice 3, like that way. So they normally give the 10 choices. You can, exercise and, use all them. But they go by the merit list, like whether you are coming as per the merit, and the choice 1, whether you fall in that, automatically the system checks that and does it. So everything is online, as I said. But it is up to you. Many students start with some stream and then they decide, I don't want that stream. Okay. Or they select the college number 1. Later on, they realize, no, this college number 1, they don't want. Many reasons. My friends are going here, my parents want this, I realize this is not that great, but this is great, somebody told, and all that. All your research, you have to do it now. Okay, and you should be clear about it, stream and all that, because only one admission form and request for only one faculty, art, science, commerce. You can't give the three. Okay, they are given that code word, password and all that to access the form. They are permitted before the round. Meaning is, before you consider about your the round, they give the choices. But nowadays what they do is that they don't give the choices in that manner. They will give the choice in the beginning, and they will say for three rounds everything is locked. So please be careful about this. If you do not get the choice for the 3 rounds, that means you are whatever you have done, and if you don't want to accept, you will be out of this. I will just tell you that. So student can select 10 colleges. Student at present can fill only, as I said, the part 1. Okay. Now that is after the result of the 10th standard. But now it has changed. It has changed, like, okay, they said already you do it, and the part 2 will be accessible at the field at the school level, any changes, corrections to be made. But what they are trying to do now is that they want the onus also should be on the student. So the documents and everything which you will be doing, they are changing the pattern now. So verification has to be done at the school level of even the part 1, and then the part 2, any changes, corrections, you can edit it. They want you to edit it. You can take the school help, you can go to the center, you can do it, but that all this will happen at the later stage. Okay. So you need to understand this particular part of this before you get into that kind of. Another thing is that they are applying from the different boards, they need to upload their board mark sheet, because what happens is that in case of the SSC, it will automatically will happen. But other boards, they don't have it. So you have to do that, and you have to actually check and verify and do that. So please follow the proper instructions, because the categories are given, and when you are doing that, it is very, very important that every category, whether it's a reserve category or minority categories or any of those, you should have those kind of documents, because later on it should not happen. You will get the admission, and because you don't have the certain documents, they reject you. And if you get rejected, then automatically you will be out of the system. Then you have to wait, till the rounds get completed and your turn comes. In between, they will not permit you to restart again. That's what they did. And that is the reason I'm trying to tell you now that whatever you do, you should have all the documents to support that. And then accordingly, you have to go forward. Now, this is something which is SCBC and all that which are coming. Okay, all those kind of things, EWS and all those, non-creamy layer certificate. Please remember that this kind of things, the instructions will be there. And why I put that disclaimer every time the instruction change. And it is unfortunate that there is a problem. The problem is that, somebody goes to the court, and then everything comes to standstill. So we do not know on which side or in which direction the wind will blow. So what my suggestion to you is that you should know, if you are applying for any of these categories or any of those things, you need to be very, very careful. Okay. Now they normally put sports, dislocated, under projects, earthquakes. So they need to have those kind of copies. So that also will come. So admission guideline booklet, okay, which is, they said they will be coming. I hope it comes and everything becomes clear. And later on, if you have queries related to that, I can connect with the Rajan sir, and I will satisfy all your queries or answer them. But at this stage, I will say that when that particular guideline book comes, you need to study, understand, and to go ahead. But what is important, when that particular will be available, you have to have that particular application fee payment online and the other things which you need to do. Please do that initial part, whatever instructions which are there, which I'm sure all of you have received and you have gone through. So do that, don't delay, and don't ever think that the date will be extended. Date may get extended, but why one should wait for that extended date when we know we are going for it? We want to study here in India, we want to study in Mumbai, then please do that, okay, or in Maharashtra for that matter. Please complete this particular process. So, admission process. So, normally you will find English, these are the criteria which they put, like pass with a minimum 35% in English is required. Science stream, pass science subject with 35%. Suppose English 35% is not there, so what they expect is that the child should go for some vocational things and the other things. I'm not talking about bifocal and all those. I'm talking about there are vocational schools and the things like that way related to schools they should take. And to take maths in the 11th standard must have passed with the higher maths in the 10th standard. Okay. Otherwise, students take the lower maths and then they expect now they will take the maths and will go ahead. That is not permitted. These are the present rules. Present means before their booklet. If the booklet comes out with the new things, okay, because if suddenly they think, okay, we will implement, to some extent, some new education policy, the changes may be there, because I have seen that suddenly some changes occur which are unexpected. Okay, let us hope that unexpected will be happy things for everyone. Yeah. So the 3 separate rounds, they normally keep a gap followed by a special round, and after that, as per requirement, additional special round. And what we are seeing here, now there will be only rounds which will be controlled totally by them. Okay, and nothing will be in the hands of the institute. Like suppose the Jain wants to do something that is not permitted. Okay, everything will be controlled by them, even the special rounds and all that, everything will be done online because there is a court order and they cannot flout that. So all the things will be done by them. So there are merit list will be there. Now there are enough students which, the first part when they start minority quota, management quota, they can take admissions. Bifocal admissions are done along with the others separately. Meaning is you apply and from the last year they started giving the list also. So bifocal also, they send the list. You understand? So they are making those particular things. So if you want a bifocal and all that, when the choices will be there, please ensure that you apply. If you think that you will go to the college and then they will select the bifocal, that will not happen. Okay, please remember and understand, bifocal, unless you have written applied, it will not happen. Now see, Jain College doesn't have this, bifocal thing like computer science, that vocational for the commerce. It is only for the science. Now some colleges, to drop the language, they also offer some kind of courses, okay, even at the commerce level, for the commerce stream. You have to identify. Similarly, there are colleges which are getting divided into aided and unaided, and their fee structures are different. And some people, because they don't have patience, they take admission in the unaided, where the fee structure is different than the aided. Later on, they realize their name will come. So this is ultimately, it's like, in the market, I'm talking about share market. You have to judge, you have to find out. This will be only for the cases which are on the borderline and play your game right. So if the first round student doesn't take admission in the college of their first preference, this is important, and is allowed. Meaning is, take example, you want Jain, you got Jain. Now suddenly you decide, no, I want XYZ, and you don't take that, then you cannot participate in the second and the third round. You have to go only in the special round or the rounds thereafter, depending on the rules and regulations. But suppose your choice is the second one, that you have put Jain as a second because you are not sure that you will get Jain, and suddenly to your envy to others and joy of yours, you get in the first round Jain. And if you say, no, I will not take Jain, okay, then in that case, all right, don't take Jain. You can fill the second round and you can participate in the second round. You can make modification in the second round. You can make modification in the third round, provided it is not your first choice. So first choice and you get it, you have to take it. If you don't take it, then you go out of the rounds for the 3 rounds, and then only in the special rounds and the rounds after. Cancellation of the earlier admission for the change of junior college and this, they can only go in the special rounds. They cannot go in the second round and third. Suppose someone gets admission in the X college and therefore then decide, no, there are chances I can get in the Y college, and goes for the cancellation. They will not be able to participate in the second round and the third round. They can only go later on when they are permitted. So therefore, don't make mistakes, while applying. Otherwise, you get a college and then later on you decide, no, I could have got in the better college. Better in the sense, in your mind, because according to me, the colleges are all good. Okay, but if you decide this college is better than the others, then, and you try to cancel your admission, you will have a problem. Because once you say cancel, the college you will give the permit to the college, because you have to give the permit, college will cancel, and then the problem will start. So everything is merit based. All vacant seats will be converted into regular seats at the end of the special round 1. Okay. And then the merit based additional special rounds will be conducted. This was earlier. Now I don't know what changes they will make. What is the meaning of this? That suppose the particular seats are not filled and they have been transferred. Then if they give those particular seats they surrender those seats, they don't mix it up with the second round and the third round, what they used to do earlier. They keep those seats and they make those seats available after the third round, okay, after the special round 1, and then they create the merit list based on that, for those particular additional seats in the colleges. Okay, so many times the colleges under the special quotas and the things like that, because they are not filled, they have to surrender those particular seats. But those seats are not available immediately. They are available only after the third round or even after the special round number 1. Okay. Now, minority institutes and the other reservations. So minority colleges, 50% reservation. Now there are religious, there are linguistic, okay, and they have to stick. Now many times the people think, oh, because I'm a minority, I will apply. Yeah, as a minority, you can put it that you are minority. If you are minority and there's a college which is, like say you are Gujarati speaking and Gujarati minority college, you got a better chance. But 50% reservation for minority also, there will be a merit list. Okay, so please keep that in mind. And other minority colleges you will find depends, because most of the time they get filled, or there may be policy and requirements on the basis, because already the people they have which are also in the coming from merit, which suffice that 50% reservations of minority and other. So please remember that if you want to avail that minority advantage and all that, you have to take it. But when you feel, you should also remember that whether you will be, when you go to the college, because minority admission process happens earlier. Okay. So when you go for those minority reservations, and if you are from the other community or your language is different, you will not be entertained at that particular time and you will be disappointed. So please remember that. Also in-house, since you got a schools as well as you got 11th and 12th, there's a 10% reservation for in-house student. So that is also on the merit base. And then the remaining seats which are made available, there's a 5% reservation for management. So if you look at it, those who are schools attached to that is 11th and 12th, automatically, then that becomes 65%. But here I'm talking about the schools, not the CBSE or other. I'm talking about the SSC and HSC. Okay, those schools which are there that particular reservation part comes. So SSC student going to the HSC, this in-house reservation part plays. Okay, that role. So there are 5% reservations for transferred government employee wards and all that thing. But please remember, this is all happens at the government level. So when the child writes, I'm the sports I'm the sports person, and many times the school verifies and say yes. But please remember that unless from the state education department, which has got the body, separate body for the sports, if they don't give you the certificate that you are actually eligible for that sports category, you cannot become the part of it. The schools have to be very careful that every child from your school is applying, and if so, they say, I'm a sports person. Maybe because you play cricket in your society. Okay. And you like cricket very much. You watch everything. Doesn't mean that you can come under that. Please remember, or you may have played for a school. Okay. But that is not recognized by the state. It is not at the state level. It is not by the body. Okay. Which is the state level body. Then under such condition, that particular sports category may not get recognized and you will not be considered sports person. So even if you get the admission under the sports category, that may not be get recognized and automatically you will be out. Now there are certain schools, under certain boards, and they play the state level. That is not a state level. Or they say it is international level or it's a national level. It is not that. Because national level means every child in this country should be participating in that. So state level means every child in the state will be participating. So please remember about this quota system and use it. Okay. So ex-defense, government transferred employees and all that, they take care and they send it on the basis of what they feel. But if it is coming from the school, then the school has to be careful and has to check this kind of, whether really the child is coming in that particular category or not. Because if you approve and it goes ahead, then it gets registered and child may face the problem. So both child as well as the school, both have to be careful in this. So there are challenges, physically challenged or what we say Divyang, with the special kind of things. There are 4% reservation. Also dislocated by the earthquake which was there last year, 5% and all that, they still continue with this kind of projects and all those, or because of some kind of problem, cyclone and the other thing, they may continue this year. They may continue related to that of the pandemic and the things like that. One needs to see that particular part of it, because your institute has done something great about like reduction and everything. But please remember that proper documentation and all those things are required. Like dislocated has to be state level has approved, and then on the basis only they can get. Now physically challenged, you require that kind of certificate, not from the local doctor, but from the government institutes and all that. Also one for orphan students, and no cultural quota, which was there. There were no activities which were carried out also earlier, and therefore these will not be there. So please remember, when that quota system, I do not know whether it will be same. I'm again repeating, my disclaimer is very, very clear. I am gone on the earlier things, but there could be changes, and all these changes you will need to see. And when it will be available, and as I said, I'm ready to, be part and will help you, explain to you. Okay. Rajan Bhai definitely will put the queries and I can, resolve them. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for this part. This was regarding our, 10 to 11th admission. Now I will come to the another thing which is little, everybody will be hesitant about this.
Degree admissions.
Yeah, because what has happened with the degree admission is, share. Of course, this is about my college. I will not talk a lot because Chandrakant Bhai can talk about the Jai Hind College and he will be able to tell you more. So, of course, our vision and the mission which is there, which you can, anytime look at it. Basically, as we normally have the mission of, global education, well-rounded education, and also we want the leaders which are already there at the national level and all that. It started from the Sunil that time, even cultural level, Bollywood and all those peoples are there. I'm not going to talk about them. These are the courses which are there. Why I'm sharing this and telling you, because many other colleges will have them, except of course where Jai Hind is concerned. As I mentioned that we got special additional courses which other colleges may not have. So we have got certain courses which, as it has written, and this is not only for the Jai Hind, but I want you to understand that there are called courses which are self-finance courses. And there are certain colleges which are unaided colleges. That means there is no aid and their fee structure is totally different. That means even their regular education, like of the arts, the BA, okay, or if you talk about the BCom regular, or you talk about the regular BSc, that is also unaided. Okay, in our case, like they are aided, and there are other branches which are there in those courses or programs. They are self-finance one. Like you can see biotechnology, IT, okay, software development are also part of the science, but they are, self-finance. Similarly, when we talk about in the arts, we have got the mass media, the BMM course, that is advertising and journalism course. Nowadays it's called BA course, but it is still BMM, that's a mass media. So this course is also self-finance. Then the BMS, beside the BCom, BMS, BAB, BPI, and today we have got BBA, all these are the self-finance. So we also have this kind of subjects, which you have to understand. Those who are going from the 12th to this, there are various subjects which are there. And, student has to, as per the every college form, they have to do the selections and, have to actually go for that particular kind of, choice of theirs and those selections of the subject. Like take example in the arts, They may select economics, English, and psychology, or they may select history, political science, and philosophy. So it is depending on them, and the choices which are given by the every institute may differ, and then they have to go by that, because I cannot say which combinations will be available, and finally which combination will be made available to you. It all depends on the merit system and all that. So here again in the sciences, 3 subjects, somebody will go for physics, chemistry, maths, regulars. Somebody will take biotech. It's completely, self-finance. Then somebody will take botany, microbiology, and, physics or something like this. Similarly, in the commerce, basically at the early stage, everybody gets into that accounts, but later on there will be, commerce, economics, CVS, there will be maths also for that matter, and things like that. We also have the MSc Big Data, Chemistry. Why I'm telling you that many of the students or their siblings or the friends, children may be having this kind of thing. So, like MCOM, we have got advanced accountancy. Some people have got the management course also. So PhD is of course later on, but big data analytics, chemistry, and all those kind of courses which the different colleges will have. We have the different evaluation system. I will not take you there. Okay. But I will tell you that we have got various certificate courses. We are already with this NEP, in the sense we are giving this different kind of choices to the student across. I just put the 10, and many of your courses which are there, which are basically are linked to that of the industry. And even our self-finance courses, industry people come and teach. So we already have got that kind of flavor, which is given to the students where the admissions, where the subjects are concerned, and the opportunities are given. But additional courses which are there, which are not mandatory but choice based, any child from any stream can take. Take example, somebody wants to learn tally, there will be tally course who will be taken by science student, or somebody from the commerce is very much interested in studying the stars, and not the stars which are in their kundali, but rather the stars in the sky. They can take the astronomy course. Somebody wants to do photography and things like that. So what you need to understand, this is at present. You may be wondering, am I promoting Jai Hind? I think you have called me, that is good enough. I always believe that the word of mouth and the people, my students can talk about it. Today only I came to know, like Cornell universities and all that, they talk about Jai Hind student. This is not from me, but some institute, okay, some school, very famous school. And those, the person was telling me, my children come back and they are from Jai Hind and our call. And there, when they go to those university already know, because many students from Jai Hind had gone there. So please don't misunderstand me that I'm trying to showcase Jai Hind here. Of course, I have written this because this particular presentation was not for you, but for other purpose. Okay. I'm coming to this particular part, and today what the university has done, and I don't want to put it on a slide, but you can visit our website. I will tell you the reason behind that. Please try to understand that over here, university, as soon as the HSC result is out, had put up over there the pre-admission university form. Now, please remember, every college which is autonomous but affiliated to Mumbai University, okay, the student has to fill that pre-admission form. That means Jai Hind College is autonomous, and if the Jai Hind College student wants to take admission, they have to fill those forms, whether it's a self-finance or whether it's a regular course like BA, BCom, BSc, and that is for every institute which is affiliated to Mumbai University. I will not talk about other universities or the deemed universities and all that, because they will have their own way of admission, their entrance exams and the other thing. Now, what is the difference here? That normally other board results are out first, and then the HSC result comes out. So they normally declare this after the HSC result. This year, HSC result is first, and other boards exams are going on. Now, I know like very well that some of these exams are completing on the 15th. The result will be out somewhere in July. That's what I was talking to that school. They are expecting it will not happen immediately, though the teachers are trying to correct the papers. It will take time. So if it is going in the mid-July or something like that, but university has said pre-admission form to be filled. So my advice to all of you sitting here, and if your child is in the 12th standard, whether your child is from HSC or any board and want to go for the further studies in India, in Maharashtra, in Mumbai particularly, fill that pre-admission form of the Mumbai. If you go on our website, we got the two different things. One is the non-self-finance courses, means which are aided courses like BSc, BCom and all that. Instructions are there. And we also have got the instructions which are given for the self-finance. But we are very clear that students should be filling the pre-admission form. Now you will say, I don't have the marks, but you will have the login and you will have the password. So when the time comes, because the minute I realized this, we got in touch, we tried to explain this, and they have rectified certain things that at present, everything is open like that way. You can select, but basically they are expecting that those colleges which are having 11th and 12th, they can do in-house admissions, because these are HSC students and it's a Mumbai university, so it's a government body under the Maharashtra government, and HSC also comes under Maharashtra government. Therefore, they become the in-house students and their admission you can complete. But the other boards, okay, that will start later, but you can, since the form is there, you can do that. And later on you edit it. So what we have done for these particular self-finance courses in a different way. Those who are interested in the in-house admission, those students are from Jai Hind, from your community, definitely they should apply and try to secure their admission. Okay, and then they can try for the self-finance and all those. That's my advice. Those who are not from Jai Hind and from HSC or from any other institute, but they want to go for like humanity, okay, they want to do psychology, economics, okay, philosophy or something like that, or history, English, they can do it, commerce for that matter. They can fill the pre-admission form of the university, okay. And whereas the college form is concerned of the aided courses, they can fill that, but their marks will not be available, right? So edit option will be available to them also later on. So when your marks will come, okay, so what the college will do? The college will carry out in-house admission as per the HSC, okay, which is a normal process. But later on, when you fill the form, okay, we will give the dates and all those things later on as per the, your results when they come out, and not of only one board, we will go. But what you can do, any board student will then upload their mark sheet and all those instructions which are there. Okay, today also you can read those instructions. You can download, or you can take the, screenshot and keep it with you, because they will still remain on our website, but for your own sake, and maybe take print out and refer to it. What you can do is that when the time comes, you can do that. We will give you the time. You can edit your form, okay, Jai Hind form, and you can upload the documents over there, okay. We will give you sufficient time. That means you don't have to worry. Don't press any panic button. that is very, very important. All of you will be considered on the merit basis. So when the site will be open, okay, when you will fill up the things, the merit list will be put up and you will be admitted, okay, on the basis of the merit. So, I'm sure that looking at, because ours is the notice, which is the first one. So obviously the other colleges, I'm sure they will follow it, and the same kind of situation they will create, because some colleges may have offline admission form. Ours is everything online, just like what you do. We normally tie up with the banks. So when you do the process from our side, there won't be bank fee for anyone. Okay, no charges. That is how we do it for our students who come to the Jain College. So, you visit the website. The instructions are very clear. If you still have a doubt, you can connect with the Rajan Bhai. He will tell me. I will still answer those queries definitely. Now, coming to the point of the self-finance courses, you may have read, and because your results are not out, we are extending it. And today only I was told that there is a foundation course exam on the 30th of June, but which is at a 2 to 4. And many students, if our entrance exam crashes at that time, there will be problem. So what we will do is that we will ensure that our entrance exam on the 30th, we will keep it early. Because someone has also given that on the 2nd, there is another exam, okay, of IIT and other, courses which are integrated. So we don't want discomfort for any child for the preparation. And that is why we had kept our entrance exam. We also will be giving the mock test and everything for those. So those who have not enrolled yet for this entrance exam, because please read, when the admission for the self-finance, we will be considering 50% for the entrance exam and 50% for your 12th standard result. Okay. So then we will add those, and finally from that we will be considering the merit list. Okay. So it is very, very important for all of you that those who want to join Jain College, they desire to do that. This is the list which is also there on the website, and you go by that list. And if you are interested in any of these courses, like as I told you, that we got a vocational course which is also called BA, but it is advertising and journalism, which is earlier called BMM course. Okay, BBS, BBA, BMS, BAF, any of this you are interested in, IT, please remember that you will need to give this entrance exam. But what we have done is that we are keeping only one common entrance exam for all of them. So we want to check your ability to cope up with that. Okay. So our curriculum, our thought process, everything is transparent and is there on our website. Okay. And there will be other colleges, autonomous, they will be having their own entrance exam. So please don't be under impression that if you give one entrance exam, because there is one common entrance exam which is UGC is conducting. Okay. But those are for the central universities. And they're requesting the other universities to have to consider that. But you know very well, like Pune University last year, they had their own entrance exam and everybody will do that. So we are autonomous, we are having our own entrance exam and we will be considering only these marks. So don't come and say, we gave the, XYZ university entrance exam or we gave the XYZ college entrance exam. Please consider those marks. They will not be considered. Okay, you have to give Jain College entrance exam, and then the 50% weightage will be given to that, and 50% weightage to your 12th standard result. Now we know that 30th June your result will not be out, but 30th June once you give the exam, your result of this will be available. But what we will do is that 50% weightage and all that thing, we will wait for your 12th standard result and then the merit list will be put up. Okay. But we will have transparency where you can see your marks, you will understand everything. And we will give the opportunity to give the mock test during those 2 days. you can give the mock test by logging as many time as you want. So you can practice for your time and correcting it so that you know exactly how to give your entrance exam and be successful and get maximum marks or the full marks in that entrance exam. So I will wish that all of you will take advantage of the curriculum which has been mentioned, like what will be covered, the type of questions, examples are given over there. Okay, but there is no question bank. Type of questions are there, and then the mock entrance exam. So you will have enough practice and you should be giving this. So we will be doing that. So in other words, let me put it in a very simple manner. All of you should fill the pre-admission form of the Mumbai University. Those who want to take admission in the colleges which are affiliated to Mumbai University. If you want to go to the other universities, they will have their different process. Okay. And their admission process, I will not talk about because I don't know. And even if I know, I will not say anything. So what I will be focusing more on, the colleges come under Mumbai University. So there will be colleges which are not autonomous. They may not have entrance exam. Some of them keeping the entrance exam, please remember, even for their regular aided courses also. We have not done that. We are doing it only for the self-finance. So please keep that in mind. Then what you can also do is that you can fill up the pre-admission form for the aided, okay, because that will be open. Self-finance course admission form for the Jain College. That means, remember what you have to do. First, the pre-admission form of Mumbai University. Okay. Then, like take example of Jain, because we have got a different system, so it will be more clear. If you got aided courses, then the admission for the aided courses. So only two things. If you consider self-finance courses, pre-admission form of Mumbai University, and you have to also fill the entrance exam form. Entrance exam form is not the college admission form. Please remember, college admission form for the self-finance courses is not out. That form will be made available only after entrance exam is over. That means it will be available not at the end of this exam. That means after 30th June. But our aided courses form is available. Why we are doing that? Because we don't want confusion. But people should not think I gave the entrance exam and I got the marks and therefore now I am eligible. No, because you have to fill up your 12th standard marks and everything. So there will be admission form and you need to fill up that form. You will need to fill your entrance exam marks also over there and your 12th standard marks also. And also pre-admission university form number. That is a registration number with the university. You know, there's a form number. Please remember that not any number you should fill, only that number. Okay. So these are the things which you have to do. Of course, our forms will be open. Even our aided forms also will be available at a later stage, but why wait? You know, you can do that since it is available. Later on, you can think about, filling those other forms and, doing that particular part of it. But we are giving edit option to you, and there will be edit option, which you have put to the university. There should be edit option so that later on you can upload your marks and the other documents over there also, which are required, which is mandatory. So all those mandatory fields you will need to fill. Okay. So I repeat again. Okay. Some colleges, there will be entrance exam for even aided. In that case, there will be three things: entrance exam form for giving entrance, the pre-admission form of the Mumbai University, and then the admission form of that particular college. Some of the colleges will be online, some of them offline. In Jain College, aided section, pre-admission form, okay, of Mumbai University, and admission form of the Jain College, only two. Whereas self-finance courses, entrance exam form is the first, you do that, pre-admission form of the Mumbai University, and later on when the link opens, the admission form for the self-finance courses. Okay, because your result of the self-finance exam will be required as well as your thing. But don't worry, we will wait till your, your 12th standard result. Your 12th standard result, is important. And Mumbai University also will need to consider all the boards. Okay, at present, they only consider HSC, but later on they will need to consider all of them and will need to include them. And then you need to fill the form. Now, I just want to share something here. Minority institutes in the degree college, okay, 50% reservation. All other reservations are not there. There is a 15% reservation for the management, and there is a 3% reservation for Divyanga, that is, disabilities. Also for the, in that 3%, everything comes. Some of these freedom fighter children, but now you can imagine the freedom fighter children must have already grown. So they cannot claim that my grandfathers and great grandfather was there. That is not acceptable. Army, that means those which are fighting for the sailor, Navy, Army, Air Force, from them, their children, and so for the women particularly, there are quota which is also there, and special quota for those women which have been left or something like that and completing the education. So for them also there will be a quota in that 3%. And there is a women quota which normally is a separate, but which automatically is get covered. So there will be this kind of things which will be available for the minority colleges. Those which are not non-minority colleges, there will be all the reservations will be there. Whichever the government considers, okay, all the reservations will be included. That will be already will be seen, and accordingly they have to apply and do it. Of course, in-house reservation is different because there in-house is considered first, and later on the seats get divided for the minority and the other things, and for the open and so on. So the breakup is totally different over here when we consider, and on the basis we are, we require that particular thing and the understanding where the application. But you don't have to worry, you have to apply, correct? Why you are worried about categories and all that? If you are in the category minority, then in that particular college, which is minority college related to the religion or the language, you can definitely fill over there minority. Sometimes what happens, this is very, very important, and all of you must remember. The child applies in the, say, category like a freedom, as a coming from the Air Force, say, or coming from the army. The parent is in the army or the Air Force, and applies and thinks that is okay. I will be considering that 3%. Please remember, 3% many times is only one seat. Now, to whom it will go, again the merit comes, sports comes, things like that way, because sports quota also becomes a part of it. So there is no guarantee. So you should be filling in such cases like that quota also, one form, and they should be filled separate form on the regular, admission process. Why the two separate forms? Because otherwise what will happen is that you will get confused, and if the minority only is considered, your name, though you may have percentage and you could have come in the merit, open merit, that may not happen. Okay. So I don't want you to miss the bus. Okay. I don't want you to fall prey for this. Of course, in our case, we have one form. Okay. For the self-finance, you can give the various options over there. Some colleges, there will be a different form for every self-finance. Okay, so one needs to look at that particular part of it. One needs to see how you want to apply, for which course you are applying, like that. So of course, though we have one form, application for the BMS should be separate, application for the BAP should be separate. All these instructions will be very, very clear. Okay, and one needs to do all those kind of things as per the instructions given. You understand? So the form may be one, but applications have to be different. Please remember. So different colleges will have the different practices. So I don't want you to consider like Jai Hind as the only classic example. I would like you to, wherever you apply, understand what is the process. That process part is the most important one, and accordingly they should be applied. Is that clear? Because if you want to apply, say, for BMS, and you also want to apply for the BAP, so therefore you will need to apply for the BMS separately, for the BAP separately. So you will be considered separately for these categories, and accordingly your name will come in the merit list for the BMS also and on the BAP also, depending on. And then you may have a choice, because at the same round, if you come and you want to decide, you can decide accordingly. All right. So these options will be there, and you want to execute these options. So I will not talk much about it, because admission form for this will be open, after the entrance exam, and the details will be given. And if you read our notices, everything is given stepwise. If you want, I can stop sharing this, and rather I can, open the website and do it. But I believe that you can do it yourself, on your other mobile phone or something like that, and verify. And if you got a questions, you can put it across to Rajan Bhai, so that, I can answer those particular kind of questions. Okay. So our new prospectus is already there up. You can see that. A new education policy, we are prepared, but we will wait for the government, directives for the implementation of that. So we believe in I will and I can. That is our logo. That is Chandrakant Bhai believed that he could do wonders, and he definitely have done wonders, and he is doing the same thing that he will do for the community, and he is doing for the community. He can do for the community, and I believe that you will all take over this motto and will go forward in your life.
Thank you, sir.
So I will stop sharing, and anything which you want
Yeah,
to.
sure. So there are questions.
Yeah.
We'll take. So first of all, thank you for having a detailed insight on the admission process and NEP, both the things. Now I'll go straight away to the questions.
Okay.
There is one question. If the student in SSC has passed and taken the means he is confirming the admission under minority quota, which is the admission process is earlier.
Yeah.
Now that college may not be of his liking, but he is securing the admission. Now, if he is going to the other open category quota colleges and he is getting the admission, can he cancel the admission there?
Yeah. Let me tell you the difference between the online process of the 11th standard and the degree.
Okay.
Now, 11th standard is every institute, okay, who is under the HSC board, okay, process will be online and controlled by government. That means HSC board under the government will be completely controlling that process of the admission. So they will decide the merit list, they will prepare everything and do it. Whereas in case of the, the degree college, the student completes or clears the 12th standard, okay, and then going for the degree college and has taken the admission, the in-house quota, okay, that student can cancel that particular college and go, because every college will have their different admission. So he will be taking admission, maybe say in the X college, and he's filling the form in the other college. So there also he can take the admission. Now, only thing is that if the first college has taken his mark sheets and all that, there is a provision to cancel the admission, okay, and he can move and give the and take the admission in the other college. Whereas the student who is taken from the 10th SSC to HSC and taken in one particular college in the in-house, like your institute, suppose, and now want to go to the other college, the problem will be is that the in-house, you will be declaring that particular thing that this many people are admitted, and that information goes on the government side. Okay. Now, once it goes on the government side, and over there, if he is saying he is taking the admission in-house, okay, and he takes the in-house admission, because this admission will not happen now. It's only part 1, right? The part 2 process has to occur, and that is also online, where he has to write in-house. You will have that merit list, and on the basis of that, he will be taking that. But the process which is there, that he has to register, and he will be doing it, but he ultimately is recorded. So if you want to do that, cancellation and permit that, it has to be done before the first round. Okay. After the first round, he cannot do that, because once he has taken, because he's already registered with your one institute, even he wants to move to your other institute, you will find that the first round starts, and if he cancels from any institute, he has to wait for 3 rounds, or rather the next round, the supplementary, and then maybe again he can apply and then do that, because he is no more will be considered as in-house in the other institute. And then the problem is that he may not be featuring in the merit to come over there. So therefore, it is very important that when they are applying, it could be in-house, but it could be selection of the thing. So when they give that particular period, okay, and those instructions are, you have to read carefully, because once the round starts and the admission which is taken, and if it is recorded with the board, okay, then movement will be difficult for that. Okay. So let us wait for the policy, what they bring out this time. Okay. Hopefully, if the process goes smoothly and not like somebody goes to the court or something like that. Under such circumstances, the process will be clear, and I will be able to tell you more about it once they decide about this process, because they also have started the process before everything, just that, everything in the place when the result comes out. So they can start the school in time, one can say.
Sir, one question is, sir, I have scored 70% in 12th board. I am giving Jai Hind entrance exam for BBA with TCS.
Yeah.
If I scored good in entrance, what are the chances of my admission?
Say, let us assume that you get 100 out of 100. That means you get 50% weightage over there. Okay. And then you get from the 70, 35, 50% weightage.
Correct.
That means total is 85%. Okay. Now one has to look at it like, what is the status? There will be students, which will be, because we get, let me tell you that also. You should not give up your hopes. I don't want to put any negativity here. There are categories in that. Let me tell you that also, explain. The BMS and the BMM, there are categories. Categories science, there's a category arts, and there is category commerce. So when you apply in the BMS, the category of commerce is a large number, okay, but competitiveness increases. If you are from science and applying for the BMS and you are 70%, you may get the opportunity, because number of seats are less, but people going, that difference occurs. But if you take like say BMM course, then in that case, art students are more, and art student is given the more, number over there. There's a division of the number. Commerce and science are less. So if you consider in that manner, automatically what happens over there is that from which category you are coming. So don't give up. So I don't want you to give up. But I will just put it like this, that in Jain, the students are coming from all over, India. All over India. Rather, 60% of our students are not from Maharashtra or Mumbai. They're all outstation students. And you must have seen that SSC topper, in the result, that SSC topper, okay, from other college, of course, our toppers missed by few marks, but SSC topper over there, directly in the Times of India is stating that I want to go for BMS course in Jain. Now, I don't have to publicize anything, right? If that topper is very clear in the mind, I want to go to Jain and nowhere else, and coming from the other institute, which is also renowned, correct? So I'm not considering this, but that student wants to come. Now look at the percentage of that. And if that student scores good marks, but many times entrance exam is again, how you prepare, how you go about it, what you do, what you achieve. So don't give up. 70% or whatever it is, you go for 100% in the entrance exam. And I'm sure you will get it.
Sir,
Okay.
one more question, since you said the students are coming from other states. One student has asked that he has last 4 years he has studied in Gujarat. So what are his chances of getting the admissions in Maharashtra, any colleges?
Like I told you, he can get in Jain if he applies,
Okay.
and he fulfills the requirement. Only thing is that when they come from the other state, we have to follow up about their eligibility.
Okay.
Because they have to get it from their boards. Even CBSE, ICSE, we have to be really after them, because they have to get migration certificate, or some cases transfer certificate, depending on the board, and that particular validity and things like that. So yes, but you become eligible from any other things, automatically that is possible. So there is a eligibility criteria and all that which we'll put up, but you can be from any board, okay? It doesn't matter.
So by when do you expect NEP to be implemented?
First thing is our form will be out. NEP,
Hmm.
NEP, definitely by next year.
Next year, 23.
Yeah, 23.
So from next year, will the board exams will be after at the 11th standard or
Now see whether they, there is a two thought processes which are going on at that level. Now, which one they will select, I do not know. Whether gradual implementation or final. Now, let me explain to this. When the Jain became autonomous, there were other colleges earlier used to apply. I wanted to prepare Jain fully. So what I had done is that we had integrated, courses with the, corporate world like KPMG, risk management, then with the Deloitte, the database and things like that. Okay. So we were preparing ourselves to that level. And what happened was that when that time came, we were I said, we had made that record that in 15 days, Jain College got the autonomy, where the people used to wait for years, 9 years, and then they received that autonomy, and we got only in 15 days. Now, but when we got in the 15 days and their autonomy was different, they got a gradual autonomy. That means their first year became autonomous. Then their second year became autonomous next year. In our case, we became autonomous for everything, including our postgraduate courses. Everything became autonomous. So immediately all exams, final exam, Jain had to conduct. not by university. So that became a different kind of parameter and preparedness. Now some people will say we are not prepared for the NEP and all that. So whether what kind of stand government takes, and different states are taking different stand, we need to see that whether they want to implement NEP at all levels. In that case, there will be exam, which will be only one exam at the 12th as per the central government. Now, why the central government is having that diktat? Because everyone does whatever they want, right? So they want to bring uniformity. So they want to go away with all the things, and everything will be connected with the school till up to the 12th, and there will be only 12th exam and not the 10th exam. So if that happens, like colleges are Maharashtra and Bihar very few, but Maharashtra mainly, the colleges are having the junior college, 11th and 12th. Now there are many questions. What will happen? So therefore, the policy has to be made at the government level, looking into all these kind of things which are not so simple. They are complicated, and on the basis of that, whether it's a gradual or whether it will be direct. I remember when the focus was on the earlier 11th standard exam was the final, and then from there it moved to that of the 10th standard. So the 10 plus 3, things which happen. 10 plus 2 plus 3. Okay. Today they are making 5 plus 3, 3 plus, like that way. So what is I'm looking at is that whether they will be actually doing this implementation, which was at the 10th standard, they had done it, directly. And then as they phase out the earlier part, but those students who had entered in the colleges, they were no more first year, they were 11th standard and then the 12th standard. And the process continued like that. So I don't know, they may be doing that way, 12th standard exam, they will say, okay, now next year 12th standard exam only. And from that, the people will move. Then what about the junior colleges? So they may consider that they may be associated, they may be conducted in the colleges. Okay, that's a one thought. This is my thought process. Okay, not that. I'm just loud thinking, you can say. That maybe like Jai Hind is having this, but affiliated to something that way. Or directly affiliated to HSC, and therefore, 12th exam, something like this. So they will phase out those, 12th exam, and then they will do that way. So one doesn't know about how this particular process will be implemented, and there are many colleges which are junior colleges alone. They don't have even, the feeders. Okay, and many of these colleges have started for various reasons. I will not get into that, but they are only junior colleges. What about that number? What about this thing? So whether they will be linked, integrated with the schools and things like that. So maybe it will happen that, of course, you have to think about 11th and 12th.
Right
all
now.
your institutes will need to consider 11th and 12th.
Right now.
Yeah, right now.
So, but in future, means suppose at 11th standard, the exam will be common, or different boards will be there in that?
The boards will be there. Boards will be there, but the thing is that they will bring kind of a credit system which will be similar.
Okay. So competitiveness will reduce.
Competitiveness among everyone, but the parity they will try to bring.
Yeah. And after 11 plus 2 years, will there be common entrance exam for graduations and everything, or there will be some board exam?
Now that is also another thing. If they want to bring the common entrance exam as per this, then all the universities has to first get
Agreed.
under that. Yeah. And then the autonomy which has been given, the autonomy is a freedom given in the academia to enhance the quality. But they want the autonomous colleges to implement the NEP first. Okay. So if they want to do that, then how will you define autonomy? That is another aspect which will be coming into picture, and it will be another definition will come And I believe, that with the NEP and they are considering about this, the implementation of these ideas, they will bring more flexibility even to the non-autonomous colleges. So in the end, what they want to do, the institutes which are doing well, they should be giving their own degree. So every institute can become the university. If you go abroad and some of these places, like take example Canada. Canada, there are what they call young universities. Okay, young universities means earlier they were colleges, but of course Canada vast land and all that, so they are open up the land, they open up the colleges, sufficient infrastructure and all that, and they have become universities now. So they have the satellite places, in that area where the different colleges and all that are there and do it. Like maybe, your community can have the university like that. Your 5 institutes and all that, they could be one university, degree giving university.
Yeah, you see, one institute is planning for a bigger expansion, and we hope that can become. Thank you, sir, for giving the insight on NEP. I think it's now time to say close this. You opened it with the good night.
I can say good night now.
Yeah, but thank you giving your precious time out of the busy schedules. Just one phone call, and
see,
you were available.
I'm not looking at the time because I didn't know whether I ate the dinner time of others. I have not eaten the dinner. Okay.
Oh.
I have not eaten my dinner, but I'm sure that I have not eaten the dinner time of the others.
Yeah.
And they have enjoyed the dinner. They may have had a dinner along with my talk. Yeah. I hope that there is no indigestion over there. And good digestion.
You had given the food for thought to them. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for the, everyone, Chandrakant Bhai, your president, and every member who has been listening, because I'm not able to see them. But I hope that, their queries and everything are satisfied.
Yeah, sure.
Because at the end, you'll find that just like we say student-centric, it is listener-centric, who should get benefit from this kind of webinars. So, Jai Jinendra. Okay.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Jai Jinendra, and good night to you, sir. Thank you again. We are closing this webinar now.
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.